Hey guys, my name's Diego and welcome back to the Daily Value channel, where I'm going to be giving value every single day by just answering your guys' questions on this channel. So if you want to be a part of the next video, you can comment down any questions that you have down below in the comment section and I'll answer it in the next video. So first of all, look at what we have here. I mean, my first video that I posted was 7 hours ago and it's at 129 views. In my opinion, that's pretty good. I'm actually really impressed with that. So definitely good to see. And we have some comments. Now, I literally recorded this video 20 minutes ago and I never hit record. So that's why these comments are already hearted, because I went on a whole spiel about I really answered them in depth too, but oh well. I'll answer it again. And we just got another comment here too, which is really cool. So we'll have even more value in this video than the first time. There's a reason for everything. So, but yeah, day one was successful and now we're on day two. Pretty impressed with how we're already getting in the algorithm on this channel. Awesome. Really good for growing my brand. And I'm excited to see where this goes. So without further ado, let's dive into the comments. Now I'm going to start with the fresh one here, which is from Lumi R&B. So I assume this is an R&B channel, but yeah, so he says, quick question, currently growing an R&B type B channel using your free advice. I'm going for R&B sample type B as the title. I don't actually use samples for other songs though. I create my own melodies and make them and sound like samples using vinyl distortion plugins. I also layer the melodies with vocal phrases from royalty-free packs. A part of me is afraid that people are afraid to purchase my beats because they think they're going to have to clear the samples. Is this a valid concern? If so, should I change my strategy to make more sales? So, in my opinion, the only way that doing sample type beat makes sense is if you're going for it in a way of like, if you're actually doing samples. So for example, it could be like an actual R&B sample from the 2000s or 90s, right? And a lot of people do that, right? And the reason why they do is because it gets a lot of views. Now, the only way having sample in the title works is if you're doing it that way. If these aren't actual samples, right? Then don't even bother putting sample in the title, because number one, you're already seeing it. Like, people are afraid to buy, or yes, it does kind of make people afraid to buy because they might think it's an actual sample and they might, be worried about the whole clearing it. And especially when you're targeting a more mature audience, R&B, right? They definitely might be thinking more in that term. Whereas if you're targeting splurge type B and you're targeting, 14-year-old kids freestyling at 2 a.m., those guys don't really think about the whole clearing process. They just rip it off YouTube and post it to SoundCloud, right? But so what you're saying is a genuine concern. It's actually a really good question. But so for you, I would just do the same beats that you're posting, but just have it be just R&B type beat, right? Because then they know, okay, there's no sample involved. It's a little easier to breathe with, right? It's just an R&B type beat, and it might actually start to perform better because it's not technically right now you're doing a misleading title, and it's not like you're doing that in person and on purpose. You've just seen people like me talk about, samples are really important. Samples are really good, which they are, right? But not for every niche. So I recommend for you, if you're not doing samples, then just do R&B type beat, okay? So yes, you should change the strategy to make more sales. I genuinely think that will be a good tip or a good strategy for you. So there you go. Now, Designed by David said, I'm having trouble finding a niche to match the style of beats I make. I've been looking at YouTube homepage and YouTube suggested. I've been posting Nino paid x Fat Mac type beats every day for a month, but now I don't feel like it's the right fit. Any suggestions? This is a really good question because I feel like so many producers are in the same boat. They make beats, but they have no idea what keywords could match for it or what type of beat it actually is. And so what they end up doing is they just post it to their channel. They quickly think, oh, it's Drake type beat, whatever. And then they snap a picture of Drake on there and they just call it a day. And then they wonder why they get no views. And it's funny, like, I was in the same position. I would do the same thing, right? I made all kinds of beats, so I didn't know exactly, I didn't stick to a keyword, or I didn't know what niche necessarily matched my sound, because I have my own sound, right? And I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate to that. Now, the thing is Yes, if you're doing type beats, you have to stick to a niche. I'm sorry, you do. If you don't like that, then don't do type beats. I'm saying it's gonna be a drag for you, I promise. But if you're past that whole thing and you don't care that you have to stick to a niche, then great, let's move forward. Now, if you've been posting Nino Paid X Fat Mac type beats, those are more like melodic R&B type beats, right? And not melodic R&B, melodic trap beats, right? So just me knowing that, okay, if you want to find a keyword, here's what I do. Now, I wrote this out when I originally made this video, but what I would do is I would go for vidIQ, right? So I would use a free tool like vidIQ, and I would use that to my advantage, but I wouldn't do it yet. First, I would make a list of, you know, I would make a list of artists, right? Artists that I personally like and artists that not only I like, but would match my sound, right? That, and maybe you don't know exactly that they'd match your sound, but it's similar, right? So I would write down a whole list of artists. It could be 10, 15, 20 artists, right? Make a whole list. And then I would take that list and search every single artist into vidIQ. And vidIQ is free, okay? You don't need the paid version. I'm not sponsored by them. I just like their free version. It's really good. It's a good software. So let's say you wanted to do Rack Baby, right? You could do Rack Baby. That's a melodic trap artist, right? So if you search that, okay, 235,000 searches every month. That's really good actually, but the competition is medium, so that's not ideal, right? Whereas let's see another melodic trap type beat artist. Let's do Nine Vicious, right? And there we go, you know, almost 1.5 million searches a month with low competition. So this is a gold mine keyword. And you can do, it looks like you can do Nine Vicious type beat sample. 72,500 people are searching for Nine Vicious type beat sample every single month. And this is a rising keyword. And once again, very low competition. So now you know, okay, this is literally in literally a minute, right? 2 minutes of me searching on vidIQ. I already found a gold mine keyword just by with keeping in mind that I'm looking to match for melodic trap beats, right? And I'm just assuming that's your sound. I don't know for sure, right? But that just shows like all it takes is just 5, 10, 15 minutes of just actually sitting down, writing down what artists you enjoy listening to, and then thinking of your sound as well, thinking, okay, do they kind of match the sound? Are they kind of in that realm? Then if so, great. Let's write it down, plug it into vidIQ, and then choose a niche from there, right? It's very easy. I can't stress it enough. There's no excuse not to be able to find a niche and find a good keyword, right? And you say, you know, I've been posting Fat Mac and, you know, paid type beats every single day for a month, but I don't feel like it's the right fit. Guess what? It's probably not the right fit then. If you're not 100% all in on your keyword, then guess what? It's probably not gonna work, right? This whole type beat game only works if you're 100% all in. If you're not, then switch to a different keyword. So hopefully that helps. Great question, man. And thanks so much for stopping by. Now, moving on to the last question, we have TJ. He said, been building my own trap type beat channel lately. I'm curious how you handled consistency when starting out. Did you focus more on uploading often or making each beat as perfect as possible? Now, the problem with producers is they think, oh, I need to spend 5 hours on every beat and I need to make sure it has a million switch ups and, you know, 5 different intros and like all kinds of sound effects. Like, no, you don't need to do all that. And when you're first starting out, there's no point in making each beat as perfect as possible and wasting hours of your time on it when, guess what? None of your beats are going to blow up regardless when you're first starting out. I'm sorry to break it to you. When you're first starting out, I don't care if Metro Boomin made the beat. Guess what? None of your beats are going to take off right away. It's never happened. It's happened for me once, but it's in general, it never happens. Because the algorithm doesn't work that way. It doesn't matter even if the video, even when I start a brand new channel, I don't take off in the first week. I don't take off in the first 2 weeks. Sometimes I do, but in general, right? You don't always do that. So when you're first starting out and you don't have much experience the way I do, right? You're starting from scratch. You want to focus on improvement rather than perfection, because I myself am a perfectionist. I am. I 100% am. I'll admit to that. When I was first starting out, yes, I made the dumb mistake by spending hours on every single beat, thinking that was going to make a difference when I didn't realize what game I was playing. This is a game of volume. This is a game of improvement. Okay? This is a game where you need to constantly analyze your data and make improvements based on that data. That is the game. If you want to know, oh, how to grow a Typee channel, that's it. It's tracking your data, right? So any little things people try telling you, oh, you just need this one little tag and everything's gonna blow up. That's such bullshit. Like, that's such bullshit. Oh my goodness, I can't stand that advice. But yeah, so you want to track your data, right? So let's say if you're going for improvement rather than perfection, because here's the thing: is with going for perfection, you don't learn a thing, right? You don't learn anything because you think that, oh, I perfected this beat, right? Which means there's nothing I can do now. It got 2 views. I perfected the beat. There's nothing I could have done. I failed. You see where that leads to no growth, right? You kind of see where, okay, maybe that's not the best strategy, right? So when you're going for improvement, though, yeah, you're going to start off slow. You're going to start off not having everything figured out. But eventually, let's say you post a beat, you just threw it together, posted it. Okay, everything shits the bed, right? Whatever. Next beat, now you know, okay, well, my click-through rate sucked. My click-through rate was dog shit. It got 2% click-through rate. Horrible. Now I know, okay, for this next beat, I'm not going to focus on anything besides getting the thumbnail right. I'm just going to I'm going to put those hours that I could have put into perfecting the beat. And instead, I'm going to educate myself on how to get a better thumbnail. So you'll start watching more videos from me on how to make a good thumbnail. Or you'll just start looking at what people are doing on YouTube, right? If you go to YouTube and let's say you want to do a Gunna type beat, right? You want to do Gunna beats. Let's go, okay? As you can see, the top beats, you would want to do pictures more like this, right? You'd want to do that. Because the thing is if you're going for all, thumbnails that just aren't meant to do good, right? To be fair, like there's some thumbnails that just aren't good, then yeah, you're not gonna see results. But if you notice your click-through rate sucks, and then you want to make that improvement, then guess what? You might end up with good thumbnails like this. And so it all comes down to just looking at your data and making those improvements. And then so now, okay, now for this next beat, you have your thumbnail dialed in. Great. Now your thumbnail's good. But you notice your watch time still sucks. Okay, now you know, okay, for this next beat, I'm just going to focus on making my intro really good. I'm going to focus on making sure I can keep people hooked. I'm going to really try to do this little arrangement technique and this time and just see how it does. Maybe we'll do better. And then the next beat, you make another little improvement on an area of the video, right? And then, oh, this next beat, I'm going to try doing something different with my visualizer. Okay, this next beat, I'm going to do something better. I'm going to plug in this new keyword that's, a rising keyword. It's doing really good. Maybe this, you see what I mean? It's improvements. Don't go for perfection. Go for actually improving. Because guess what? You're going to improve. And guess what happens when you improve? Your views improve, right? So that is how this game works, man. Anyone that tells you, oh, just buy my $1,500 course and I'll give you the one keyword that's going to explode your channel. Really? That in the big 2025, are we serious? Like, so no. Yeah, so when it comes to consistency, that is basically what you want to go for. You don't want to focus on perfection, you want to focus on improvement. And as far as being consistent goes, just put together a schedule. Because in 2025, there's no excuse for you not to be posting consistently. Look, all throughout high school, look, and I don't mean to brag when I say this, before I graduated high school, I made what I think is a really good amount, but 250 grand before I graduated high school. That is what I made off selling beats. And for me, that was a big accomplishment because I had started selling beats my freshman year. So throughout high school, I did everything I wanted to do. I got the BeatStars 1 million plaque. I did everything I wanted to do, and so that was like a really big accomplishment for me. The money itself wasn't what made me crazy feel successful. It was more that like I got the plaque, which I envisioned myself having. I got everything I wanted. But look, in high school, I also had homework. I also had to be at school for 7 hours a day, right? I had to then uh I also had to have a life outside of school. I also but I dedicated time. I sacrificed some sleep some days. Yes, there were nights I went to bed or I went to school tired, right? I don't care what position you're in. I don't care where you are in life. I don't care if you have kids or, we all have lives. So there's no excuse. It's really you versus you. So worrying about consistency, I mean, there's no excuse. So just find a schedule. You don't necessarily have to post every day either. I recommend it, but you could also do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday and just stick to that, right? Same time every time, right? Have a good schedule. So hopefully that helps, man. Now, next question is, what do you think really makes YouTube push a type B? Is it the tags and title or more about the audience retention and engagement now? This is a really good question because most producers, I feel like, get it mixed up. They think like the tags is really what's important, or they think like, oh, maybe I can just have a magical keyword that just takes me to the top. That's bullshit. That's not how it works. So when it comes to YouTube pushing out a type beat, it's no different from any other video. Their algorithm works the same. So you just need to play to that. So think about it like this. The first thing is, who is your audience? That's number one. You need to focus on who your audience, because that will affect everything else I'm about to talk about. If you're posting a Pooh Shiesty type beat, don't just post a picture of Pooh Shiesty as the thumbnail. Because guess what? You're not going to get in the algorithm. You're just not. Because you look like everyone else on the page, right? You look like everyone else on YouTube. But if you think about who you're targeting for a second, okay, Pooh Shiesty, okay, what does he rap about? Oh, ski masks, or he wears ski masks. That's his aesthetic. Okay, what does he rap about? Guns, gang violence, right? I mean, hustles, like hustle culture, right? That's stuff he raps about. Okay, so then the people looking for a Pooh Shiesty type beat, they probably want to also be rapping about that, or they want to be rapping like Pooh Shiesty. They want to be like Pooh Shiesty. Okay, so they're probably gonna like what Pooh Shiesty likes. Okay, so why would we not do thumbnails where the pictures are like that, right? Why would we not do pictures like that? Now it's kind of hard to see, but you get the point. And look what happened. Look at the results you get when you do that. Look at the results that happen when you give the market what the market wants, basically, right? So when it comes to what pushes you out, well, first you need to dial in who your audience is, because you can't get pushed out to that audience if you don't even know who the hell you're targeting, right? So that's the first thing, is figure out who you're targeting. And then what they look for is now the thumbnail and the beat itself. Your title, it matters. Yes, it matters. It matters for SEO. But as far as going viral, going into the suggested, going into browse features like the homepage, just going super viral, it comes down to your beat and your thumbnail. That's it. Now, then we can break it down a step further, and we can talk about the thumbnail format, the actual retention hacks for the beat, right? And that's where it goes a little more in depth, and you're focusing on other things. You're focusing on, okay, contrasting colors for the thumbnail. You're looking at thumbnail formats, and you're looking at the different algorithms inside the algorithm. If you think I'm trolling, I literally have a whole board of this, because this is the algorithm. Okay, there are algorithms inside of the algorithm. It gets so nerdy. I'm sorry I have to bear you with this because it gets very nerdy. But this is what we call thumbnail formats, and I've many videos on my main channel where I go in depth on that. I'm not going to go in depth in today's video, but yes, that is thumbnail formats. Now, so the main things that matter is your beat and your thumbnail. That is what determines whether you get pushed out or not. It's not tags, not descriptions. I mean, it matters, right? But it's not what makes or breaks it. So if you focus on your thumbnails and you focus on your beat, then yes, and of course you know who you're targeting, right? And that all just kind of ties together with your thumbnail format. That all kind of ties together with how you structure the beat, right? So hopefully all that makes sense. That is essentially what pushes out a type beat. Very good question though. Now, next question is, I see a lot of producers get views, but not loyal artists and repeat buyers. How did you turn your traffic into a real audience that keeps coming back to your beats? Very good question. Dude, all three of these questions have been bangers. So for getting, artists to become loyal customers, it comes down to one essential factor, which goes back to kind of my last question, which is, who are you targeting? And this is where having a micro niche type B channel is significantly more valuable than a channel with 50,000 subs on a niche where you're targeting 16-year-old kids that are freestyling with their friends in the school bathroom, right? Those guys probably aren't going to buy beats, and they're probably not going to want to be invested and become customers and buy from a specific person, because they don't give a shit about relationships with people. They don't care about having a producer. They don't care about going about business correctly. They're not there yet, which is fine. They're kids. Who cares? You're not trying to sell to them anyway, right? You want to sell to a mature audience, okay? And how do you do that? Well, you first need to figure out, okay, well, what are some niches that are targeting more mature audiences? Well, okay, let's think about it. Boom bap, 90s type of beats. Okay, think about it. The people that like that music probably are a little bit older. They grew up with that music, right? So people that are a little bit older, I'm not calling you guys old if you're like 30, by the way. Okay, but you're getting there. No, I'm just kidding. So if you're like people that are like 30 and above, they probably have more spending power than a 15-year-old kid freestyling at 2 a.m., right? So when you think about it, okay, let's target those people to begin with. Let's not hope that those people stumble upon our beats. Let's target them and attract them. Because then if you think about it, you're targeting people with high spending power, and you know exactly what type of beats they want, because you only post one type of beat on your micro niche type beat channel. And from there, then it's really easy to sell products to them. It's really easy to sell beat packs, vocal preset, whatever, right? It's really easy because you know what they want. You know what type of beats they love. And you know that they have money, right? They're more invested, right? They're more mature. So then that you just turn all that traffic that you get from your micro niche type B channel, and you turn that, or you funnel that into things like email marketing automations and funnels and all the back end stuff, all the nerdy stuff, which, if you're curious, I'm actually going to be hosting what I call the Sell Beats Online Challenge, and that will be starting November 3rd. You can register for free, and I'll keep you updated in like a WhatsApp group, and you'll never miss a beat that way. But yeah, it's completely free, and I'll show you exactly how to start and actually find a niche for your micro niche type B channel. I'll show you how to optimize it, and then I'll show you how to actually monetize it. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and register down below. I'll leave a link in the description for you. But yeah, now that is essentially how you monetize or turn artists into actual loyal customers. Is the main thing is getting the traffic, the right type of traffic. That is essential, because you could have all the craziest funnels, you could have all the craziest email backend automations and all these systems, but at the end of the day, if you're not targeting the people who actually buy beats, guess what? None of that other stuff matters. It doesn't. I'm going to be honest. It doesn't matter, because you could have 50,000 subscribers on your type B channel, but if you're targeting people that don't buy beats, guess what? All those funnels don't matter. But if you have a channel with 500 subs and you're targeting an audience of people that do buy beats, and then guess what? All those funnels are now going to just amplify what you already know. It's going to amplify the results you're already getting. So it's these type of strategies that producers need to start thinking about, because we're moving away from the whole needing 100,000 subs on the type B channel in order to make a full-time living. We're moving away from that. We're moving towards what I call the micro niche type B channel, and this is what producers are using to actually be able to make a full-time living without needing to be famous or all that bullshit, right? You don't need a massive audience, and you don't need to have been posting type beats for years either. That's the great thing. You can start a fresh channel with the right knowledge and get to it. So that is how you turn artists into lifelong customers. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.